You want to talk about Invincible first? Because we've been texting about it all morning.
Sure. Yeah, you've been texting some inflammatory shit, because I do not agree with... Here's the thing, let me preface with this, too. The Invincible discourse right now is so goddamn weird and annoying. It reminds me of the JJK situation that I went through, because I'm always ahead of the curve. I'm always angry about something at the wrong time to be angry about it. Because Season 2 of Invincible, the animation was, like, it felt like the budget was halved from Season 1. Because Season 1, like, had some, like, stilted stuff. There was some, like, JPEGs getting dragged across the screen. There was a lot of, like, CGI background elements. But there was enough to make up for it. Like, the fights were great, and when they had to pop off, they popped off. Like, the budget was clearly being allocated smartly. And then Season 2, on top of just, like, narratively being boring, because, like, the comic material in that section is boring, was, like, there was no moment where I was like, oh, most of the animation is stiff, but, like, this fight is why. Like, this fight makes up for it. Like, Season 2 was really tough. I really lost my faith in Invincible in Season 2. And I would make
it was
videos
like
about
genuinely. I mean, I didn't want to watch Season 3. I was like, oh, like when I heard Season 3 was coming back, I was like, oh, I don't want to watch it. No.
Yeah, you were like, I remember Stank was like, Invincible came out, and you're like, do we have to watch this? Because Season 2's a big lull.
I mean, and thank God we did, because it is genuinely, I'd say, probably the best thing we're watching this season.
Yeah. That's true. I would agree with that. But so anyway,
it's up there with Soul Leveling.
Yeah, just to wrap up the thought though, but now, and so I made videos about it, and everyone was like on my ass about it and being like, oh, like, you just want to complain about stuff, it looks great, this and that. Season 3's out, I have literally no complaints about the animation. It's the best, most consistent looking season in the whole show so far. And I'm seeing all these videos of people ragging on the animation. And I'm like, where were you when the animation was actually suffering? Because now it's consistent. There's a movement. And like, but Nick texts me like an hour ago. What do you say?
Is the bar movement, Danny?
That's all I've ever wanted.
If the bar is movement, we are asking so entirely too little from a show that just gave Mr. Beast, or from a fucking studio that just gave Mr. Beast $150 million to break people's legs with drop boxes. All right, oh my God, I hate how it looks. It's so fucking ugly. It's so ugly.
This is so out of nowhere. Nick was like, why is this episode look weird? And I'm like, what do you mean? This episode's no different, no worse. Like, why right now? Are you just pissed? Are you just pissed randomly?
I might just listen. I am hungover and I am tired and my back hurts. But I was watching episode 5, which I think everyone was saying was a filler episode. Is that in the comics?
Episode 5 was with the dragon. I'm pretty sure it happens. I remember. But there's, like, filler stuff in the comic. Like, there is a lot of just kind of, like, padding out the world and, like, you know, the point of an episode like this is to, like, reestablish Titan and be like, oh, what's he doing? And, like, show that the world is, like, evolving.
Yeah. I thought that the episode was really good. Like, so we're talking about episode 4 and episode 5 of season 3 of Invincible. And so there's a couple of things that we do want to talk about. Like, just like from a general perspective. Listen, yes, I'd say this season looks and operates better as an animated series than season 2. 100%. Season 2 was horrifically ugly. Like, it's like, it was ugly. It wasn't animated. Everyone was like, there was JPEGs. They were making jokes about, like, oh, if you pan out, you don't have to animate anything. Like, and then there was like breaks and all that, like, in the animation. Like, we're getting episodes, like 2 episodes at a time, and then, like, oh, we'll be back in a couple of months. And I was like, just take your time and finish the fucking season. Like, I don't need a half-baked product if we're already getting a month between, like, each episode here. So my issue isn't that, like, oh, this episode, like, oh, the season looks so much better. It's just, it's so, like, the show is just so ugly to me. Like,
what do you mean?
The
Since
art style.
When?
I just, everyone's hair is one block. Everyone's hair is one block, and, like, they just, like, when they pan out in any the movement to me feels choppy whenever they're doing anything that's not fighting. I don't know, man. Like, I might just be grumpy. I really could. And I'm coming at this in a way that isn't necessarily, like, indicative of how I feel about Invincible, because, like I said, I'm enjoying the season. It's a really cool story. I love a lot of the characters. But, like, I just, like, there's times where I look at it and I'm like, oh, I hate how everyone looks. Mark has a cool design. I don't love Eve's design. I like Cecil's design, but I like Rex's design as well. But, like, there's just characters who I don't enjoy the design of, and, like, while these last 2 episodes, like, had really cool character building moments with Oliver and Eve and all that, like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, I just wish this didn't look like it was a children's animated TV show from 2008. It's got a Nickelodeon budget. It's got a Nickelodeon animation budget.
You're so grumpy. You're such a grumpopotamus. Because last time we talked about Invincible episodes 1 through 3, you were all on top of it. You were hyped. That's what's weird to me, is that this is coming 5 episodes into season 3.
I think it was literally just, there were certain moments in episode 5 where it was like when Eve was walking with the warden, like the prison warden or something like that. And it was just like they started so far away, it felt choppy. Like I just wish it looked more polished. I wish there was shading. I wish their hair wasn't just one fucking big block. Like they all look like they have Roblox hair. It's like Kaiju number 8's faces and the fucking hair. And goddamn Invincible pisses me off. Like, I just hate that Eve's hair is one fucking orange shit, like, cell.
I feel like that's just animation. I feel like that's just what animation looks like most of the time. Let me see.
No, it's like particularly bad. It's like particularly bad. Like the only person's hair who I actually like how it looks in the entire show was Amber.
Amber did have sick hair. She doesn't have one big block. What are you talking about? Look at all this definition in it. I'm getting easy.
Oh my god!
Is that helping?
I'm getting fucking flashbanged here.
Look at that.
That is the most definition they've ever given her hair ever.
That's what she looks like. Hold on.
That's not what she looks like most of the time. Anyways, yes, I'm being a grumpopotamus. And Invincible looks better this season than it looked last season, and they do deserve credit there. Absolutely. Season 3 is leaps and bounds better than season 2 is. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because we're watching Soul Leveling back to back with it.
This is from episode 5.
It's fucking it's 2 blocks of different colored orange.
What do you want? You want every strand of hair drawn? Don't take your hangover out on Invincible. I will not be in this TikTok with you.
It's so funny to me. Because your TikTok about talking about is Invincible too gory? Is it too violent? Just a genuinely very good and also comic based take. You were like, oh, the comic's not as violent, and because that you're desensitized to it. And everybody in the comments is like, oh, this guy watches Has Been Hotel. This guy watches Has Been Hotel and he doesn't want them swearing. If that is not the most missing the fucking point thing I've ever
Yeah.
Why every time you're like, oh, that was a little violent, people are like, oh, this guy watches Has Been Hotel. Dude, you rank Mortal Kombat finishers. No one's saying you don't like gore.
I know. We got some of the most brain dead rebuttals on that TikTok where I was like you said, I was using the comic as a source and being like, oh, the comic does this differently, and the show is more violent more frequently. And people are like, oh, what do you want to be, rated G? Huh? The comics also are. And it's like, dude, just listen to the words coming out of my mouth.
Use your ears for once in your goddamn life. It's not and then everyone's like, oh, but this guy watches Has Been Hotel, but they can't do violence and swears and Invincible. It's like, hey man, they're drastically different stories, and also that's not the take we're having here.
Yeah. No, it's just fun. I'm so fine with people disagreeing. It's just when they're, not arguing the same argument as me. But anyway, that's also why I'm like, what?
Quick timeout. Anyways, back to Invincible.
Well, that's why I'm like, you're taking this hard stance that it's ugly and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going down in this fire with you. I am not dying on that hill with you, brother. So when they make this stupid TikTok of you saying these stupid points, I need them to put me in disagreeing with you.
Is the Invincible fandom the most sensitive fandom on the internet right now?
That's a take I can get behind.
I've never seen so many people with the inability to decipher any take that's like actually being fired. Like they just hear like Invincible not perfect, and they're like, oh, Invincible bad. Like, are you saying Invincible bad? Like and then like are just like I need to find a way to associate this take with another. Like it's a crazy amount of like mental landscaping that needs to be done, but also like if you say anything that is not glowingly positive about Invincible, like for some reason everybody rolls out in like mass regard to try and tackle you down.
It is funny, yeah. The Invincible fandom is really intense for like you just wouldn't expect it, and it's weird because it's a lot of like I know it's not an anime, but quote unquote like anime only like watchers being like that, because I remember on Reddit, a lot of people would, like, compare it to the comics and be like, oh, man, I think this moment was more impactful in the comic. And then people who, like, don't read the comics are like, shut the fuck up, the moment was great in the show. And it's like, just let the dude have an opinion. Like, just let the guy do a comparison.
If I read all the comics and I'm now watching the show, I am a bigger fan than you are. Like, if I have the ability to compare, oh, the show skipped this moment from the fucking book that I read before there was even a show, I'm a bigger fan than you are. Like, that's the craziest shit about your take, is like, you're explaining with intimate knowledge of the comic and how it differs from the TV adaptation. You're like, oh, hey, my vast knowledge of this allows me to have this take, and people are like, oh, did he even watch the show? It's like, I'm not only describing that I watched the show, I'm describing I read the comic and I understood it so well that I'm able to compare it actively.
Yeah. But otherwise, other than your insane takes on it, I really liked episode 4 and 5. I think Invincible is hard back. I think every episode has been really strong. Episode 5 was really funny. There's a bit where when the dragon, like, impales Mark, and he, like, thinks he killed it, and he, like, gets up, and he's like, Eve, we gotta charge more than we're charging. And I really thought that was funny.
Yeah.
A lot of people have brought up, he is taking a lot of damage, and I don't remember from the comics if he takes damage this frequently, but he's getting, like, some, what look like fatal wounds a little too frequently.
So the guy, the Metal Mouth guy, is literally like, oh, I'm about to show you, like, the fault in your name, which is Invincible, and he's like, you're not the first person to bring that up. And it's like, hey, man, people probably wouldn't be bringing it up if every other week you didn't look like hammered shit.
Yeah, like, he's getting
like, it's a good thing you're now dating the girl who can you're good. Like, good thing you're now with the girl who can molecularly rearrange your body to, like, heal you in a matter of instance, because he almost got fucking bitten in half by a B-tier antagonist who got capped in the back of the skull by fucking Full Metal Head, who I forgot existed because I haven't seen him in 3 fucking years. And meanwhile, why are we sending that guy to fight Omni-Man? Oh, you're telling me the new and improved 140% stronger Mark, who's able to bench the heaviest thing humanity can find, is getting cut in half by a dude who runs the Triad?
Yeah, a lot of people, I've been seeing that too on TikTok, and that is like a legitimate, like, fault of both the comic and the show, is that the comic really likes to use his powers for, like, gags in a way that breaks the power scaling. Like, I remember, or they'll do stuff like that where he's training and he flies to the moon and back in, like, 47 seconds. And he's like, I could have been faster, but I forgot where I was for a second. And it's like, oh, okay, he can leave the atmosphere in 40 seconds. Why can anyone touch him? Like, the power scaling...
It's almost light speed.
Yeah, the power scaling is busted to, like, a frustrating degree. You really have to, like, turn your brain off and be like, oh, I guess this villain's punching him right now. You know? Like, and people are like, oh, well, he's holding back. And it's like, you can hold back and not get your ass handed to you. Like, if he can move at near light speed, hold back, but don't get hit. Like, don't let these guys fucking wallop you.
Meanwhile, like, his durability is, like, so incredibly, like, fucking, what was his name? Not Ironhide. Titan. Titan's fighting against this dragon, right? Titan's, like, using his armor ability, which we haven't seen in, like, 2 seasons, and he's tanking these chomps from I forget his name, but Metal Mouth. He's tanking these chumps, and he survives this gigantic fall, and he coordinates his whole plan to like trick everybody, which was really cool, by the way. I love Titan as a character. I'm so happy to see him back. I love that the entire community has changed. I love that everyone's like bending a knee to him, kind of thing. But like he's tanking these chomps from the same enemy, and that one chomp almost cuts Mark in half. Like, you're not invincible. You're not even as strong as the fucking leader of the village.
Yeah, his name should be pretty strong. Like, pretty strong and fast. It should be like
lightly vincible.
Yeah, it should be vincible.
Yeah, like maybe like a bulletproof. Like bulletproof, whose entire idea is like kind of the same thing. Like he's also kind of strong and also can kind of fly. Like I've never seen him get chomped in half.
Yeah. His name should be first name Vince, last name Ibble. And that's his superhero name. No, but that's literally what I was talking about with my take that everyone tore into, is that there's, like, it's not that the show's too violent, it's that, like, he doesn't feel invincible in the way that he did in the comic. Like, they're really giving him a beating a lot more frequently, and so then when he takes a substantial beating, it doesn't feel as crazy, because it's like, oh, well, the dragon just, like, gave him 2 mortal wounds. Like, now when he goes and fights, like, another Viltrumite or something, it's gonna be like, oh, well, like, he's always getting his ass kicked. Like, this is fine.
Yeah. Like, I just don't get, like, why that guy, like, I get that he's, like, a crime syndicate leader, and, like, and therefore obviously would have no incentive to, like, I ever fight for the good of humanity, but they're just busting out the fact that this guy controls an extra-dimensional dragon that's like somehow in his dude that also survived like a 300-foot fall with only like a sprained shoulder. I love Ionic or whatever his name is, Ion or something like that. That dude's sick. But anyways, like this guy is currently the strongest. Isotope. He's like one of the strongest antagonists we've ever seen in all of Invincible, and he's just like ripping through this prison. And I was like, my God, this should have been plan number 1. I get that they're trying to get Titan to bend the knee.
Yeah.
But like,
just be a dragon.
It's kind of aggravating.
Yeah, I agree. Like, this is a weirdly like S-tier villain just out of nowhere. Like, the prison couldn't do anything. Literally nothing. No one in the Guardians of the Globe.
Mark couldn't do anything.
Yeah. No, I agree. I also felt that, where I was like, just always be a dragon? Like, why do you need a crew? Is it just like how we hire editors? Like, we could edit, but, like, we just prefer not to? He just, like, wants free time, so he's not always doing it himself?
It's probably like, I don't know, it's probably like you gotta eat a lot of food. Buildings aren't really made for you. You know, he destroys Titan's entire penthouse. You know, I can imagine being a dragon would be like all that convenient. But that being said, if your other form is like an 80-year-old Asian man with a metal mouth, like that's also not great, you know? So like, I would also probably go for dragon all the time. It just reminded me of like Ino Yamanaka's body getting carried off by his gigantic bodyguard who did absolutely dick to protect him.
I love, speaking of the prison, 2 big things about episode 5. 1, awesome Adam Eve episode. Not that, like, I've found a really interesting argument from people where, like, I saw, this was from years ago, from, like, Mad Max and Furiosa. There was some discourse over whether or not Furiosa is, like, a good character. People were like, oh, she's, like, a badass, strong female character. Like, she's just as good at fighting as Mad Max. And a lot of people were like, it takes more to make, like, a strong female character than just, like, making her good at fight. And that's not, like, to say she is or isn't. But the reason I bring it up is because with Adam Eve, like, just because she kicks ass in this episode doesn't mean, like, oh, now she's a good character. However, boy, did I like seeing her kick ass, and boy, was I like, oh, sick, you feel equal to Invincible now. Like,
which is kind of out of nowhere, right? Like, it's like also like she took like 3 classes on architecture and she just apparently is able to fix an entire prison. Like, she's in Architecture 101 and she was like, oh, they paid us extra money because they helped rebuild their prison. It's like, dude, you built like 2 apartments and they fell apart. Like, I'm not trusting you to build the Supermax where Multipol's splitting himself into 300 people, all of who, mind you, earlier you were like, oh, the show isn't too violent. It is, all right. There was a moment in episode 5 that literally made me clutch my pearls. Like,
that was the other thing. I love that shit.
I didn't like it at all. It made me feel icky.
You like when
everyone
multiples,
push.
when he's shoving through the walls with himself. This show makes multipole seem like such a badass that like he just uses the ability in such a sick way where he'll split and then kick off one of him to parkour and dodge.
I'm going to say right now, it is the most creative usage of cloning abilities I've seen since Naruto. And I think, honestly, based on a choreographical standpoint, like, they do it as impressive as Naruto, if not more impressive. Because there were so many moments where Multipole is about to be taken out, and he's, like, split somebody off to take the punch, or, like, he, like, uses a split to, like, exactly redivert himself midair. Multipole was absolutely the biggest strength of Episode 5. Hi, Sarah.
He says hi.
She can't hear me.
You ducking made it seem like you were doing that bit where you pretend to walk downstairs. No, I agree. Like, it was an outrageously clever use of his power. I do agree, too, with the Adam Eve thing, where, like, her being... I don't know, she just came in, like, 10 times more competent than, like, ever. Not that she wasn't competent before, but this was just, like, a real... Like, she was, like, on top. She, like, stole the show from Invincible. And it's interesting that she does that after taking, like, 2 years off of being a superhero. Like, she shows up and she's like...
Yeah, her power is just Fortnite, though.
She does have a Fortnite power. Her power has always annoyed me in the comics just because it's too anything. Like, it's a very... Like, anytime... I've seen TikToks about this, too, where she's like... yeah, like, we can't afford an apartment in downtown. And it's like, make $1 billion. Make $1 billion in your hand. And I get that she's like...
She turned an entire apple into 24 karat gold. And I was like, that you can't even conceptualize how much money that would be. That is a lifetime amount of money.
Yeah. Well, and she said, like, oh, I don't want to, like, break the economy. But, like... You don't have to break... There's, like, such an easy medium between breaking the economy and affording an apartment. Like, just make enough to move out. Like, that's okay. You're a superhero. You should be getting, like, paid anyway. But, like, so yeah, her power...
I get that they don't want to do it the easy way. Like, they're like, oh, I don't want to do it the easy way. I don't want to... I want to work for what I have and all that. And it's like, I get that. That's absolutely fair. But, like, Mark is like, oh, I guess I have to go fight this supernatural dragon to fix his penitentiary and not get paid for it, or, like, be a private contractor kind of thing. Like, there is absolutely a happy medium between, whoopsie, I made a quadrillion dollars, and, oh, I can now afford a studio apartment in downtown.
Yeah. No, exactly. Her power is just too vague and powerful to me. She's like a little bit like Green Lantern if he could make his constructs permanent. Like, I kind of wish he was just the Green Lantern, because, then you get into, like, well, just cheat. Just start doing cheat code stuff. It was cool. In Season 2, one of the best moments of Season 2 was she's like, oh, I'll just build an apartment or something like that for people. Like, these people lost their homes, and she, like, built an apartment. And then, a few days later, it, like, crumbled and, like, I think killed a bunch of people because it wasn't up to code. And she's like, I don't actually know how to make an apartment. And I was like, that's really good. It also kind of helps the, like, it's like, oh, she needs, like, an actual in-depth knowledge of something to properly make it. And so that's why she can't just, like, make them an apartment. And also she's like, there's zoning laws, and where am I gonna put it? Just in the park? Like,
Yeah. She is the character that Momo from MHA should have been, right? So, like, Momo is, like, Momo's is the character who's introduced and, like, is, like, supposed to be, like, basically, like, the pseudo fourth to the big three. So it's supposed to be, like, Ida, Baku. It was, like, no, it was, like, Shiro, fucking Fire and Ice.
Shoto.
It was supposed to be Shoto, Bakugo, Deku, right? And then, like, Ida kind of became, like, their pseudo-fourth, and then Tokuyami. Like, in the beginning, like, Momo was absolutely set up to be, like, one of the most important characters from Class 1A, and she gets lost with time. But, like, that's, like, Adam Eve's ability and her abilities fundamentally work almost the exact same. Like, anything that they understand molecularly, they can make. The only difference is, it's actually even hardly a difference, is that Momo has to, like, apply to the law of equivalent exchange, right? So she has to use fat and turn that into like things like that. Now, does that fucking do they use that rule at all? No. Eventually, she's making fucking rail guns, and she still weighs 106 pounds. Like there's no law of equivalent exchange by the end of the manga, and that's what I've realized. Kind of another thing that kind of makes me upset about Invincible is that there's just no equivalent exchange. Like fucking Multipole can just make hundreds of himself, and like that is insanely broken. Why? Like, of course he's an assassin. Why wouldn't he be?
It's kind of... Invincible's a little like... I don't know, this comparison will be dumb because you and everyone will prove me wrong. But it's kind of like JJK, where it kind of, like, revels in, like, characters just being broken and nonsense. Where it's like... Yeah, I don't... And sometimes it's to its fault. Because, like I said, with Mark... It's not that fun to, like, power scale him, because the show's, like, so inconsistent with it, and the comic's so inconsistent with it, so it's tough to be like, oh, well, he's this strong, and it's like, well, a dragon that's not that fast, like, just tore through him, so how fast and strong is he? Yeah. But other times it's like, and with Adam Eve, it'll also get annoying. She's gonna do some real annoying stuff in the future, but other times it's like, okay. I don't know, I like the idea that Multipole is, like, they're like, oh, cloning can be a really overpowered power, and you don't think it is. We're gonna show you why a dude who can clone himself can become one of the most dangerous people on the planet. You know, like, it's like...
God, I just started thinking about the skulls popping again, man. I fucking, that scene.
Dude,
it was too much.
That dude's awesome. He, like, that propelled him to one of my favorite characters, because it's like a Mirio, where it's, like, kind of a lame power that a dude is an absolute master of. And I don't know, I'll never forget him, like, parkouring around and, like, someone shoots at him and he just like jumps out of his body and the original one takes the hit, and it's so cold because they're all sentient, like they're all screaming when they're being crushed against each other. So anyway,
dude, he's just farming out hundreds of himself to die, which is kind of exactly what Naruto does, because they're also sentient and also can feel pain. Like all of his shadow clones are sentient and can feel pain. Yes, and all of the memories of those deaths do technically go to Naruto, which is crazy.
I thought they died the second they get hit with contact. Like they poof the second they get hit.
They do, but they still feel pain.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, they can be lit on fire, and like by the end of the story, like they can take damage, and that damage doesn't go back to Naruto, but all of the memories and experiences of shadow clones go back to Naruto. So he has experienced death thousands of times.
Damn. But yeah, I mean...
So whatever Duplicate was bitching about, fucking Naruto understands.
Fucking... Yeah, I like it a lot. This season's like really... Oh, what'd you think about the stuff with Immortal in the future? Nothing? What happened to you? We should have skipped this week. You're right. You're just on the wrong side of the planet.
It just felt like it came out of nowhere, and it was like done and dusted in like a half hour. Like I said, I really enjoyed episode 5. Like the plot of episode 5 was cool. Duplipole was sick, or Duplipole, but Multipole was sick.
Duplipole's not bad.
And like I said, Adam Eve had Duplipole, of course. Duplipole's drag show. Anyways, and so I really enjoyed episode 5, and like episode 4 I also thought was good, but like it's just like, I don't know, Fight Master and Hitman or whatever his fucking name, they just kind of appear in episode 1. They're like, oh, the future's bad. And it's like, why does Mark care? This is like 10,000 years down the line, and then like it's like revealed and like some kind of like not so like it's kind of general. They're like, hey, you are in charge of Earth. You went to Viltrum or something, and we left the Immortal in charge, and now he knew the only way to get Mark back was to destroy Earth or some shit like that. I don't know, like it just felt like it was kind of out of nowhere, and I was like, I don't give a shit about this timeline, and like it was cool, like I guess watching him be like, hey, I don't want to kill you, like the only way that this ends is that he kills him, which is like very like Iron Man of Iron, or what is it, the Superman where he has to kill Emperor Zod,
Man of Steel,
General Zod. Man of Steel. It was like very Man of Steel ending where he like pulls his fucking head off and he's like, you made me do this. Keep the fucking parts separate because like otherwise he'll just reconstitute and come back to life. But I don't know, like it wasn't my favorite episode of the season. Like I'm not gonna say it was bad by any means. It's just like the story wise, it felt tacked on.
I loved it. I love that episode because you also get Battle Beast and Alan like breaking out Omni-Man. Like that episode was awesome. I like the Immortal stuff. I really like him ripping off his head.
That was the better part of the episode.
I like him ripping off the head, and they're like, "Thank you," and he's like, "Don't thank me for that." Like, what a great. That line's good. I like, please don't thank me for that. Like, because he's...
No, I, like, in terms of the character development and the plot repercussions of those moments, 100% very good episode. It's just, like, from, like, I don't give a shit what's going on 10,000 years into the future.
Yeah, it pops in out of nowhere. Immortal's also a character, like, I don't personally give a shit about. But, like...
Exactly.
So I get that. It's just like, I don't know, it was impressive, the fight was cool, the animation was good, in my opinion. And yeah, the last half of the episode where they're breaking out Omni-Man is really sick. Should we move on from Invincible?
Yeah, no, and I want to touch on the fact that, like, yes, like, the actual best part of episode 4 is post the credit scene, which was like 20 goddamn minutes, mind you. And it's, just Alan and Battle Beast fighting against the Viltrumites, and they hit that double lariat on one of the Viltrumites.
Yeah.
It gets revealed there's less than 50. That was awesome. That was really cool. And also a very, very thinly veiled line about, like, oh, this is how we let governments treat us. There's, like, not that many of them. There's a lot of us, but they have the power. And so I thought that was dope. And, like, so these 2 episodes are very good, but I'm not championing for them in the street like you are. I think you've been bullied into loving Invincible more than you actually do.
No, I love the comic. I'm a huge fan of the comic. Season 2 was genuinely bad, and now it's good again, and I'm like, oh, I like the thing. And everyone's like, you can't like things anymore. You like Aspen Hotel. We took away your thing liking privileges. Sorry. Dude, when I had fucking Sonic fans being like, I'm not gonna listen to this guy's opinion. He likes Aspen Hotel. Do you not see how that's a not argument? How I can be like, I'm not gonna listen to your opinion. You like the Sonic movies? Do you not see how that's like, how you can use that with anything that anyone likes?
Are people like, is Aspen Hotel like that contentious? Is it like it's actually just very good? Like I don't.
It's just fandoms.
That's the weird thing to me.
It's really genuinely what I've been learning is that it's fandoms hating fandoms. Like typically, and anime has this too. Like My Hero suffers from that, where My Hero is a really good show. At worst, it's just derivative. But, like, there's a lot that you could, that is, like, it's got genuinely, like, incredible world building, and it's very well thought out. It's got a lot of, like, strong character arcs. But people hate the fans, or people hate, like, the fandoms. For whatever reason, I've never, like, encountered bad My Hero fans, but I've just, like, seen people say the My Hero fandom's the worst one. Yeah, it's the meme. And so that's why people are like, oh, My Hero sucks, like, the fans are the worst. And it's like, I think it's the same with Hell of a Boss and Has-Been Hotel, where people, like, see, like, quote-unquote, like, cringe compilations online of, like, Hell of a Boss fans, like, just breaking out into song at cons, and they're like, oh, that show sucks. But I've never encountered someone who's actually watched it and been like, yeah, that's bad, that's actually awful. Like, my friend who is, like, big anime fan, real, like, metalhead, not into musicals, like, hates musicals, but loves anime, that's, like, his whole thing. He watched Has-Been Hotel because he saw that, like, it was my bread and butter on YouTube, and he was like...
You have a metalhead friend who's into anime and you've never introduced me? You're just describing me.
He's in Connecticut. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it?
I fucking go kiss him.
Yeah. He watches us. He watches you. He watches me. He likes our content. But he watched...
Mwah.
Nice. He watched Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss because he saw that it was so big on my channel. And he was like, yeah, look, I hate to admit it, but, like, I fucking love this thing. It's great. It's just catchy. It's just funny. And so it's like... Not that, like, I'm like, oh, it's a perfect show, it's S tier, it's the best thing I've ever seen. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but it's, like, at worst, boring, you know? Like, it's just, I think people just don't like the fans. Yeah, I agree,
that's great.
At worst, it's good.
I guess I understand that. Like, not that I'm in the same camp where, like, I definitely have never interacted with a Has-Been Hotel, like, cosplayer or fan and been like, oh, wow, cringe weirdo.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them at cons and shit. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just because there's so many of them at cons, and it's also furry adjacent, and God knows the furry community. It's a lot of, like, undue flack, I find. I feel like it just makes people uncomfortable, and therefore they vent about it. Anyways,